Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back, honey. And if it's your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you stay. I hope you stick around. Take a tour. You just might like it. Actually, I know you will. Okay, so guys, I have missed you. We haven't spoken in a long time. It's been a minute. I've really missed you guys. I've missed speaking to you guys. I've missed sharing. So as you can see, we are in a different location. I've been moving around trying to see what fits best for the channel, so bear with me. I will be changing locations a couple of times just to see what sticks. I do like it here, so we might stay or might not. We'll see how it goes. So guys, it is like the middle of Feb. We are approaching the middle of Feb. It is a bit awkward for me to, it feels very awkward to be like, Happy New Year, guys. But I feel like I have to say it because it is your first time seeing you on your screens on this channel this year. So Happy New Year, guys. I hope you transitioned very well into 2026 and this new year treats you well and you feel good. You feel much more present in your body. You feel better. I hope this year, if last year wasn't kind to you, this year is kinder to you and your body, and you just feel a whole lot better. The last time we spoke, I wasn't okay. I had made a video titled I am not okay, and I wasn't in a good space physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and I did express that on the channel, hence my disappearance. So but I'm back. I'm in a much better space. So much has happened. I do owe you guys a very large life update that explains how I got to the space that I'm in right now. I feel so much better. So much has happened, but we'll speak about that in a different video. So guys, like I did say, we are in the middle of February, approaching the 15th, which is like the middle of February. If you want to be technical about it, we are approaching the 14th of Feb, which is like the halfway mark because February does end on the 28th. Let me not be a nerd about it. So with that said, Valentine's Day is just a couple of days away. So in the spirit of Valentine's Day, in the spirit of love, in the spirit of dating, the spirit of relationships, I just thought I should come here and talk about it. I did post a video here last year speaking about this around the same time, and I was talking about dating and relationships. I took it down because I wasn't happy with the quality of the knowledge I was sharing. It just felt like I was talking at you guys and it wasn't like calm and chilled and like a conversation. I mean, it's not really a conversation because I'm the only one speaking, but it felt very rigid and very serious, and like I was just like, do this, don't do that, and I'd never wanted to feel like that. So I did take down a couple of videos on my channel where it felt like that was what was going on. I'm restructuring the channel. During my time away, I've been thinking about how to enhance the quality of the content that I give, and how to make it feel like more of a diary session and not me just here like an expert, because I'm not an expert. I always say that I'm not a medical expert in any capacity or in any way. I'm just a girl on the internet, this corner of the internet, sharing what it is that I know, and yeah, just giving my personal experiences and giving tips here and there. Some advice is very medical from research and from my experience, but like I said, I wanted to be just chilled, very like conversation, like very like from a sister to a sister, you know. So yeah, I feel like I've been rambling. It's just because I'm excited to be here. It's very nice to be here. So yeah, forgive me, pardon me, but let's just get into the video. So in the spirit of Valentine's Day, relationships and dating, the one question that has always loomed large in my mind, or has been like a very big question that I've always tried my best to answer when getting into relationships, when beginning a talking stage, when going on dates, the question being, when do I tell him? When do I say it? When do I share that I have endometriosis? When do I share my medical condition? When do I disclose it? So I'm speaking from the perspective of a heterosexual woman who dates men exclusively and who dates seriously. So by seriously, I mean I don't date casually. I date for marriage. I date with the intention of a long-term partnership in the long run. And I date, like I said, I date men. So if you don't date men, you don't date seriously, please don't feel like I'm shutting you out or I'm not considering your experiences or your perspectives. I'm just speaking from what I know. But I do hope that you can, like, from what it is that I'm saying, you can just find you can find yourself, and you can find a point where you relate, and you're able to get some value from what I'm saying in this video, from what I'll be sharing. So anyway, let's get into it. When I got into my 20s, I had already been diagnosed with endometriosis. So I got in knowing what it is that I'm dealing with. And I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I've gone in with that knowledge, and it's been like very heavy on me, because I've gone into every talking stage, I've gone into every relationship, I've gone into every encounter with the opposite gender with this knowledge, and there's always this thing at the back of my head where I'm like, okay, when do I say it, when do I share it? Because endometriosis, when it comes to relationships, living with a chronic illness, even if it's not endometriosis, affects everything. It affects your communication where relationships are concerned. It affects intimacy. So communication, intimacy, sexual boundaries. It also affects your self-esteem. So I knew that this would be a problem going forward, and I needed to communicate it early on, so that the person that I plan on being in a relationship with can make the decision of whether or not to stick around, because it is a very difficult thing to deal with as someone's partner if you are dating or in a relationship with someone who is experiencing this or living with this condition. So I wanted to give whoever it is that I was dating a fair chance to decide whether or not they'd like to stick around for that, and also so that I'm in a space where I'm not putting myself under pressure, and I'm able to communicate things openly, and I'm kind to myself. So if you know what it is that I'm going through, when I cancel a date, you know why I'm doing that. When we have to have certain conversations surrounding intimacy, you know why those conversations are important, and just to really do myself a favor. So if you keep it a secret and you don't disclose it, it's really gonna catch up with you, and I didn't want that. And I think with anyone who shares that they have endo very early on in a relationship, it saves you from a lot, and certain conversations can be had, certain expectations can be minimized, and it can just, like you set the tone for the relationship. The playing field is like equal for the both of you. Everyone knows what it is that they're walking into, and even if certain things do come out as surprises, you know how to like manage that, and certain things can be better mitigated, especially when it comes to long-term relationships. Endometriosis does unfortunately affect your fertility. So if in the event that you struggle to conceive in the future, or having children is a bit of a complicated thing, it's not something that you can easily do, or it's not something that you can easily maneuver around, I think it's important to mention it. So there's just a bunch of reasons why it's important to speak about your condition very early on when you meet someone. But I don't think it's wise to share this with someone who's not going to stick around for the long term, or who's not going to stick around for the long haul or for the ride, you know what I mean? So that is something that I have struggled with, like I said, when I meet someone. So with my partner, I am in a relationship currently, and with my partner, it's something that I had to sit down and ask myself when I'm gonna do it, like with every relationship. But I haven't disclosed my experience, or the fact that I'm living with endometriosis, to just everyone that I've dated. I've gone on dates and I haven't mentioned it. I've had talking stages that have spent weeks and I haven't mentioned it. So I think it's a personal thing where you need to determine whether or not you need to determine when you feel it is important to mention it, or when you feel like you're ready, for just to avoid trauma dumping, because it can happen, and that's the last thing that you want. Or mentioning this to someone who just walks off and doesn't really stay in your life, and you feel like they've just walked on with your biggest secret, or walked away with your stuff.
Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff.
So yeah, back to what I was saying. With my current partner, we had gone on a couple of dates. We had a talking stage, as you normally would. We had a talking stage. We spoke for a bit, and then we planned a date. He planned the date, initiated the date, planned the date, and then we had our date. And so the first date was amazing, and then it was so good, and it made me just wonder, like, okay, this is going very well, because obviously it must have been going well for the talking stage to transition into a first date. Because sometimes, guys, you know how it be, you have a talking stage with someone, you meet someone, you have a talking stage, and it doesn't materialize into anything. And this one did, and it materialized into a very great first date. So we had our first date. I was like, okay, I don't recommend mentioning it on the first date. I feel like the first date is not where you have those really intense conversations. You've just met the person that you're dating. It is very anxiety inducing. It could be very awkward. You could be very nervous. So just, I feel like it's best to just speak about light things. Avoid politics, avoid religion, avoid like the heavy topics. So for the first date, I'd avoid it. And that's what I did. I avoided speaking about my condition. And so we just kept it light and it was nice. Okay, so the first date ended and I was like, okay. Then we had our second date and that was amazing. So what my partner and I did, we had like date after date after date after date. Like we were seeing each other every day after work. And that is very cute and very intentional of him. But then it made me very nervous because I was like, okay, this is going so well. At what point do I drop the bomb? You know? And also, it's not like dropping the bomb like, oh my God, it's so difficult to date me. Oh my God, this is such a difficult thing to do. No, but it is dropping the bomb so that, like I said, to give this person a chance to decide whether or not they want to stick around. As painful as it sounds, it is a reality. Sometimes you tell someone, hey, I've got endo, and they're like, I've done research on this, or I know someone who's living with the condition, or I've dated someone who has a condition and I don't think I can do that, which is fine, which is fair. You know, it sucks, it's painful, but the right person will stick around and the right person will be prepared to handle it with you, you know. And if you're living with this person long term, it's something that they have to really like. When you're dating someone with endometriosis, if you ever have, you do know that it's something that you guys go through together. Your partner goes through the physical and the emotional pain, and you also have to carry it with them, you know. Anyway, so yeah, I was just like, okay, when do I do this? And I remember we had gone to the park for a walk. We've been doing that for some time. Even now we do it, and back then when we had started doing it, it was something that we were doing quite a lot, and it was one of our park dates, and we had walked, we had spoken, you know, asking the important questions. Like I said, I date seriously, which means dating with intention. So we had done that, right? And yeah, asking the serious questions. So, do you want kids? Do you want to get married? Blah 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 blah. And we had sat down. It was like late. The sun had set, and I just remember like us having that conversation very vividly. And the topic of kids came up, you know. And I want children. I told him that I want children. I want to have children one day. And what do you like? What's your take on children? And he was like, he also wants to have children one day. He wants to be a father one day. And I was like, okay, great. But then whenever the conversation of children pops up, endo also pops up. I always use like that as a way in for me. So if we haven't gotten to the conversation surrounding children, I don't mention endo. I don't mention it at all. If it's not important for me to mention it, I say nothing. So my in is children. So when it comes to dating and relationships, just to give you guys a tip, I'd say find your in, find your way in, how you bring it up, because it's very like difficult to just bring it up one day and be like, oh hey, I have endo. It's a bit awkward, and it makes things a bit tense. So if you find a way to do it like in a way that's like within a conversation, perfect. And so yeah, my way in was the conversation around children. It's not something that you speak about on a first date. Normally, it's not something that has come up in my previous what would we call them, in my previous dating experiences. So be it a first date, a talking stage, or like when you've been dating someone for some time. If it hasn't come up for me, then I don't mention it. So if it comes up, it means that we are serious, right? So like I said, I had been like, okay, fine. And speaking about children, and I'm like, yeah, I want to have children one day. I was like, yeah, I want to be a father. I'm like, great. Then that's when it got real. So I was like, okay, I have the, you know, like it's like, oh, how do I say it? Do I say it now? And then you feel like something's in your throat, and it's like a very difficult thing to bring up. But anyway, so it just becomes a very difficult thing, a very awkward thing to think about. And I'm a bit of an overthinker, so part of my overthinking seeps into planning. I plan everything, I plan ahead. So for example, if I'm going on a date, I want to know where the bathrooms are, I want to know where the entrance is, where the exit is. I just want to know everything. I need to know what I'm wearing, if I'm gonna be late, how am I gonna get out of that situation, like whatever, right? So even with such conversations, I plan them out in my head, and it's difficult because I don't know how the person is gonna react, but I have like a best case scenario and a worst case scenario in my head. So I'm just like there, like, okay, so And it was going well. The date was going really well. So I don't want to ruin it. You know, also the part of the guilt that comes with having a medical condition like that is you don't want to ruin things by mentioning it or bringing it up, like ruin the vibe or ruin the atmosphere. But it's not even a thing on, it's not like, it's a thing on me. You know, it's like my own issue, my own problem. Not good, like, it's such a bad thing to bring it up. Don't do it because you'll ruin the vibe. No, it's just a thing on that I carry personally. But anyway, so then I'm like, do you know what endometriosis is? And then he didn't know. Most people don't know. And then I explained it, you know, just like I always have like a very short definition in my head. It's not that definition where you're like, endometriosis is where tissue similar to the tissue that, no, not that big, bold, serious definition. It's like, no, it's just like, you know, a condition that most women live with. 1 in 10 women have it, blah, blah, blah. It affects this, it affects that. It's like, okay, like very simple. Yeah, have you heard about it? Oh yeah, so I mentioned that. Yeah, have you heard? I'm not a good storyteller, guys, so bear with me. So yeah, do you know what endometriosis is? No, I don't. Then I explained it, and I was like, I actually have it. That's when you must be, just to see. I've explained it. I said I have it. I want to see your reaction. That is gonna determine whether or not we go on the next date. So then he was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah. So sometimes I feel sick. I struggle with nausea. I struggle with back pain. You know, now I'm explaining, you know. So yeah, I won't always be up for this. I won't always be up for that. And my man took it like a champ. He took it like the man he is. And that is also for me, that's how I determine whether or not you are a quality partner, whether or not you are someone I'd like to keep around. It's tricky because if it can go either way. Like if this person is just like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that, you're automatically disqualified. Like that is like off of the boxes. I'm not taking that, you know. But then also if he does want to stick around, the reaction, because he could be like, okay, yeah, sure, but then the reaction going forward, or the way the treatment going forward, you know. But it's a good thing to have, like, I don't know how to say this, guys, but like what I mean is like, I don't know how to say this. It helps in determining whether or not this person is a quality partner. It helps in just like gauging the longevity of the relationship. It's just one of those things, you know. Like if you can stick around for this, great. But going forward, you treat me like trash, bye. But if you can stick around and you are like a good person and you're really supportive going forward, thumbs up. Anyway, so his reaction was just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, does he get it? Does he get the severity of what I've just explained? And it was like, no, it's fine. I get it. Like, you know, like, yeah, when it comes to health, you never really know. It's not something that you like went and asked for. And I'm here. Like, you know, it doesn't change how I feel about you, whatever. I didn't want to talk about all that romantic stuff. No. Then I was like, okay, but I hear what you're saying. I might not be able to have children. And he was like, when it comes to the conversation around children, I mean, he'd like to have children, but even if he doesn't have children, it's not a stumbling block. There was an Instagram thing that I came across a couple of months ago, and like this woman was saying that you should ask your partner, do you want to have a family or do you want to have children? Because if it's a family, you and your partner can be like, the two of you can be a family, you know. But if it's a matter of children, if he wants children so much and you can't give him children, he might cheat on you, he might leave you for that reason. And so it's something that is important to speak about, especially if you have a medical condition, you know, if you have a chronic illness, you know. I do jump between the term medical condition or illness, so it's just not like, I don't have a rigid way of labeling endometriosis, so that's just something you should keep at the back of your head when you're watching my videos. But anyway, so that's just how it was, and for me that was a really positive experience. His reaction to the news was really positive. I know that's not everyone's experience, and if you've had trauma or you've like gotten a bad reaction after sharing that you have endo, that could really prevent you or really make it difficult for you to share going forward. So I would say exercise caution when it comes to that. I was really fortunate because my partner has been so supportive since day one, and I spoke about it. I told him, and like just to finish off what I was saying about the whole children conversation, he was like, yeah, if we have children, great. If we don't, it's just also one of those things, as long as I'm with you. And I was like, so yeah, it worked out. It really did. But sometimes it doesn't, you know? And so when you are navigating relationships, when you're navigating like the early stages of relationships, early stages of dating, it is important to exercise caution, to follow your intuition, and to also like look out for the red flags. The red flags are always there. There are red flags when it comes to mentioning things of this magnitude. There are also green flags. Something that I would advise you to do is, before you disclose that you have endo, before like that initial conversation, just check how this person that you plan on getting into a relationship with deals with, or how they handle you erecting boundaries, or how they handle you expressing that you don't like certain things. For example, if someone if he initiates something that you're not comfortable with, and you're like, back up, I don't kiss on the first date, for example, and he's just like,
what? No, kissing on a first date? Oh my god, no. People do more things on a first date. It's just a kiss. It's just a kiss.
And they're like, this person is essentially disrespecting your boundaries. That's a red flag. If you can't respect the fact that I don't kiss on a first date, how are you gonna handle the fact that I have endo, which comes with several more boundaries and difficult conversations to have? And like, you know, it's not something that's very easy to maneuver around. A lot of conversations need to be had, like certain things have to be done. So, you know, so just like things like that, just check like check the temperature of the room, check like the water, just like, you know, just to get a feel of the kind of person that you're with, you know. So it's a blessing and a curse. It really helps to see the quality of this person that you're talking to, and how they'll handle certain things going forward if you mention it early on. So if you have endo, I like to not wallow in self-pity and be like, oh my god, I have endo, it makes this difficult, makes that difficult. No, but in such a case, if I put this on the table, I want to see how you are reacting to it, how you are, you know, if it changes anything for you. And if it changes anything, respectfully, you can walk away. It's okay. And if it doesn't, we're good to go. Then you get into a loving relationship and you get to celebrate Valentine's Day, because Valentine's is coming. But yeah, so I think that's about it. So for me, it's just find a way to bring it up. Find a way to bring it up. Find your way in. Like I said, my way in is mentioning children, the conversation around children, and also just try to gauge, just try and see if this is an emotionally safe emotionally safe environment for you, that would enable you to have such conversations, that would enable you to bring up a thing of this magnitude. You obviously can't bring this up if you don't feel emotionally safe with the person that you would like to disclose this to. So if you don't feel safe, then you don't bring it up, you know. So like I had said, just check the weather. Just do a nice weather forecast. Just try. Bring that up. Bring this up. Just try and see if your boundaries are being disrespected, if your boundaries are being tested, if it's a thing of, you know, like, yeah, before you bring it up. So the right time to bring it up, there is no right time to bring it up. It's all about you. It's all about your preferences. It's all about the kind of people that you date. It's all about the intentions that you go in, the intentions that you carry whenever you go into a dating thing. Whenever you start dating, what are your intentions? What are your goals? What are your goals? What are your intentions? What are your plans? What do you see going forward? That's really gonna help you when it comes to deciding whether or not to share that you have endometriosis, and at what stage you share. This video might have been all over the place, guys. I'm sorry. Like, it's just like a lot is going on in my head. So I know that I haven't covered every single thing that comes with the dating experience with endo in this specific video. So I will I'll create a playlist on this channel where today we were speaking about when to do it, so timing. In another video, I'll be talking about gauging emotional safety. I'll be talking about how to avoid emotional dumping, you know, things like that. So as not to make this into one long video where I just talk about this and that and that and that, we'll just make it into a couple of videos that I know you guys will enjoy. And yeah, if you have any questions going forward, just leave them in the comment section below, or you can send me a DM on Instagram. Here is my handle. If you're not following me there, I've always said this, you're missing out, because it's not always endo this. I like to emphasize the point that just because you have endo, it doesn't mean you can't live your best life. It doesn't mean you can't show up and look good. I think I look good. I try to look good. It's not always easy to look this good, but at least I try. So you can follow me on Instagram if you want to see like more of this and like a whole other like aspect of my life, because I also try to, I'm a very private person. I try to keep certain things off social media, but when it comes to sharing joy and living my best life, I do like to advocate for that, especially as an endo girly. It really helps to change the narrative surrounding endo. It really helps to just to show joy even when life is not always joyous, when you are dealing with a flare, when you are dealing with having to have difficult conversations and navigating that. So yeah, also in this series that I'll be talking about, the endo dating series, I'll be talking about dating and having to cancel dates and what that looks like. And you know, there's just like so much that I want to do on this channel, and like I said, I'm restructuring things, so things are gonna change and look very different. But I hope you stick around. I hope you stick around to see that. I hope you really enjoyed the video, and from the chaos and all of the things that I was mentioning, I hope there's some value that you've gotten from the video. There's certain like gems, like certain nuggets of wisdom that you've gotten from the video. Even if you didn't get anything very valuable, I just hope watching me has really brightened up your day and you feel less alone, especially when it comes to Valentine's Day. I know the dating scene can be very difficult when you struggle with endometriosis, when you're living with a condition of this magnitude. It's not easy to date, it's not easy to maintain romantic relationships. And Valentine's Day can be triggering. It can be one of those days where you feel like you're alone and like, oh my god, will anyone ever love me? Will I ever feel excuse me, quote unquote, like normal? But you know, you're not alone. It's not, days are different, relationships are different, dynamics are different. But anyway, please subscribe, please like the video, and look out for the next one. I am back by popular demand, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. I know I will. And if you don't have a Valentine's, we are all your Valentine's dates on this channel. I love you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Look at you.
So many things are changing.